Yo, guys, welcome back to another episode of We Got Issues. I believe this is issue number 6, so we're getting there, y'all. We're almost at 10. I am the host, MLGman, aka Luke, and this is my co host, Xboxgut, aka Cameron. And we're here today to bring you guys another banger. Yes, sir.
Yes,
Uh,
sir.
Last
Another
night,
issue.
yeah,
Another
man.
issue.
Another issue. Last night we recorded our Berserk Golden Age review, which was a ton of fun. I'm currently in the process of looking that over and processing it and downloading it to get that uploaded soon. So it's probably gonna be out by the time you guys see this episode. Um, so if you didn't watch it yet, definitely check that out because that was an absolute blast to make. And yeah, Cameron, do you have anything to add about that?
Yeah, there's that episode is really fun, like you're saying, kind of mirroring what you're saying. A lot of insight, some stuff. I'm like literally on my third read through of Berserk. I've said it a ton already, but there's some stuff that you told me that I didn't get, and some stuff that I told you that, kind of broke your mind a little bit. That's kind of a lot of foreshadowing in the Black Swordsman arc.
For sure.
Um, Really good, really fun, and I can't wait to continue that. I guess we should probably say it here that we're taking a little break from reading Berserk. Not too long of a break. We're going to continue it in the first week of January. But for the rest of December, we're going to knock out some of the comics um, that we either want to read or finish reading or finally get around to. Um, but we'll end up talking more in depth on what we're going to read and what we're planning on finishing in one of the sections of this video. So yeah, great video. You guys got to check it out if you guys haven't already.
For sure. And as an extension to what Cameron just said, um, because we are taking a little bit of a hiatus on Berserk, we're coming back to it first week of January or very early January. This is kind of the last call to hop on board the read through if you want to do this alongside us as we're doing it, because obviously you can go back and watch these whenever, but if you want to be a part of the journey with us as we're doing it, this is kind of the last call. It's the perfect time to get caught up, knock out the Black Swordsman arc and the Golden Age, because once we pick up with Conviction in January, man, we're rocking and rolling. We're gonna keep going until we finish. So this really is the perfect time to get caught up with us. But yeah,
And then
man,
piggybacking off what Luke said, it's also his true blind read through of Berserk. He's not gonna know anything because everybody knows the Golden Age. Everybody knows the event that happens, which is the eclipse. We all know that. Like we said in the episode of itself, it's the most infamous chapter or infamous section of a manga ever. Like everybody knows about it. That how wild it gets. No pun intended. But yeah, it's gonna be a full blind go with Luke, and I'm excited to see his reactions because there's some fucking crazy shit that goes on in the Conviction, talking to the Millennium Empire, especially the very beginning of that arc. Some wild shit goes on. If you know, you know. But yeah, it's gonna be a good time out. I can't wait to get around back to it in early January.
for sure, man. I am super excited to continue, but we are taking that little bit of a break. I feel like might need it just a little bit to come off of the eclipse and all that. Get a little bit of a not a reboot, but what am I trying to say? Just calm down a little bit after everything that went down and kind of get our thoughts together and you know refresh ourselves a little bit before we continue. I think it's a good opportunity to do that. But that being said, what do you plan on reading in the next few weeks, aside from Berserk?
So I have a couple of things that I want to get to. I want to finish up the Immortal Hulk omnibus. Like, I've been I'm sure you guys have obviously if you guys have seen the past issues, that's been something I've been currently reading and really enjoying at that. There's some confusing stuff in it, but I don't think it's meant to be um, understood all at first. You know what I mean? Kind of like Nick Dragota's. Is it no, Jonathan Hickman, the way he writes his stories. Um, I was saying Dragota because him and Hickman are on the same
East and
book on
West.
East and West. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's very enjoyable. It's very fun. and I kind of did not drop it, but I kind of put it on the back burner just a little bit because I wanted to knock out the Golden Age, and that's a section of the book where you kind of want to pay attention and roll with the punches in the Golden Age because there's a lot happens and not a lot happens at the same time in that arc because it's just the story being presented as it is. But yeah, I want to finish up the Immortal Hulk. I'm not too far off. I'm about halfway through, and then after that, I'm not gonna read it this month, but I want to start collecting the trades for what is it? Not the Infernal Hulk, but is it just the
It's just
Incredible Hulk?
Incredible Hulk. Yeah.
Yeah, the Incredible Hulk. I want to start reading that because um or start collecting it rather than reading it this month. It looks awesome. I love the whole body horror-ness of Immortal Hulk, and I know that it kind of carries over in the Incredible Hulk. And then we got an ongoing the Infernal Hulk, which is
Have
I
you
guess a
seen
sequel.
some of the panels from Infernal Hulk?
I haven't.
Dude, it's fucking brutal. Like I saw
Pretty
a
dope.
couple of the panels just like on YouTube or Instagram the other day because I hadn't looked into it at all, and I am very excited to eventually get to that because it's like super violent. Like
Awesome.
it's crazy,
Awesome.
dude.
Yeah, and with the Hulk book, I mean, that's all you can ask for. You don't want them to, kind of shy away from that whenever Hulk is, an unpredictable beast, as we've seen in like the MCU or even Immortal Hulk. So yeah, I want to finish that up, and then I want to get to Bug Wars,
Yeah,
the first trade that I have. I want to get to Bug Wars. Um, the trade looks awesome. The story sounds like Honey I Shrunk the Kids, or or what's that one Xbox game? Um, they're like small. It's like Honey I Shrunk the Kids. It's
like
what is
it
that game
takes
called?
two.
Yeah, no. It's fuck, man. What is it called? It's I want to say Little People, but that's not what it's called.
Little
Let me
Big
find
Planet.
it. No. It's an Xbox it's an Xbox game.
Oh yeah, Little Big Planet. That was PlayStation, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to find it. Not gonna be able to find it. Let me see. But yeah, it definitely has that vibe to it where it's like Honey I Shrunk the Kids. It just looks really cool. It looks hyper violent. I mean, it's an image book, and I've read through the first couple pages of it, and it has some intense cussing in it. Like they're saying
Oh
f
yeah.
bombs, shit like that. So I'm all for that, man. I'm all for that like cool kind of gritty vibe to it. And I know from what you've told me that it was originally a limited series, limited to what, six? It's called Grounded. Grounded is what
Grounded.
it's called. It's
Okay.
basically a Honey I Shrunk the Kids, but like Ark, Minecraft type of vibe.
Oh, that's sick.
Um, yeah, like you can like ride fucking ants and all that crazy shit. Yeah, it seems cool. Um,
That's dope.
but yeah, that's another book that I want to read. It looks real gritty, looks real dark, looks action heavy. Um, and I'm glad that they made it an ongoing instead of it just being a limited series
And
because
that's coming back here in January. Or yeah, so they're doing the one shots, which I mean you're not gonna understand because you haven't read it, but they're focusing on one of my favorite characters from Bug Wars, the Spider Witch, and then I hopefully soon after that we're gonna get volume two, starting up. So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. So that might be a series that if I really fuck with the trade, the first trade, I might have to add that onto my ongoings that I pick up every week or
hell
every
yeah.
month rather. If it's that good, but I have a feeling I'm gonna enjoy it. If not just as much as Transformers by Daniel Warren Johnson. I love that series. I can't wait for the. It hurts seeing those new volumes come out from Kirkman and not being able to get them.
Oh yeah.
Uh, but I'm excited to get that new deluxe in um, through Amazon. But after that, um, I guess this is going to be kind of spoiling our Christmas special. We're going to have a Christmas special coming this month, and we had a budget of $50. Luke bought me $50 worth of stuff. I bought him $50 worth of stuff, and we kind of both created lists, but there's certain stuff that I didn't get on the list that Luke wanted, and I'm sure there's stuff that Luke got me that all of them weren't on the list that I got. He knows
Yeah, yeah.
he knows that He knows what I should tap into and what my tastes are at this point in our comic journey, rather. And yeah, I'm excited to read what he got me for that. That's going to be obviously towards the tail end of the month, but if there's any trades in there, I'm sure I could probably knock them out in one or two sittings for sure. But yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to. I'm really excited for Bug Wars. I'm really excited to see the conclusion of Immortal Hulk because that's Immortal Hulk especially gets real weird, real like Chainsaw Man if I gotta be
Mm,
honest. Like it gets real um it gets out there. It's not no Ben Grimm fucking streets of New York type fucking vibe. It's real cosmic. It's real out there. No pun intended. But yeah, it's a great time. I can't wait to get to it. What about you, Luke? What are you looking forward to reading this month?
well, man, I was kind of looking at my shelves, and I know there's only, I mean, I have plenty of time, but I don't want to get too deep into something and then have to try to juggle it come the new year with Berserk. I kind of want to knock out a lot of my stuff that's kind of like a one and done, pretty like read a bunch of shorter stuff rather than try to tap into something that's a longer series.
Yeah.
And I was taking a look, and I think I'm gonna start this either today or tomorrow. But Animal Man by Grant
Oh
Morrison,
yeah.
man. This is
Adam,
sorry, say that again.
Animal Man. No, no, I was gonna say Animal Man is one of those series that whenever I first got into comic collecting, that Omni with him and that monkey like standing back to back, like doing that thumbs up. Yeah, yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's one of the omnibuses that I really wanted to get into. Um, I could have bought it on eBay for like 25 bucks. Some dude gave me an offer for like 25 bucks, but some dude bought like literally like he offered it to me. 5 minutes later, someone bought his actual like listing instead
Oh,
of like him offering. So I was like, oh, and then ever since then, it was kind of something that just kind of went over my head. But yeah, that's cool, man. You gotta let me know how that is. I love the whole Deadpoolness of it.
yeah, man. And it's not very long at all. Like this is a not a long read, so I'm excited.
No, not at all.
Um,
Not at all.
there's a guy on my Discord server. I guess I hope I'm pronouncing it right, but Shizzle6 is his username.
I think that
Uh, and he was talking about he read this somewhat recently, and he was telling me that he read it literally in like two sittings. Like it's just that good. He binged through it real easy. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm Grant Morrison is another one of those writers that's
yeah.
kind of weird for me because I read his new X-Men, and I don't know, man. He's just kind of out there sometimes. Some of his stuff can be a little bit confusing, but
Mhm.
I've heard that this Animal Man here is like kind of his magnum opus, like his probably his best work. Um, so yeah, I'm excited to
Didn't
check it
Grant
out.
Morrison write a? Oh no, that's Alan Moore who wrote Swamp Thing.
Yeah.
I get those two mixed up. So Animal Man, that's the original run, right?
Uh,
That's not the new 52.
I couldn't tell you if I'm honest. I don't know, but I what I do know is that it's a DC Black Label, which
Yeah,
basically
that's the original. That's the
okay,
original run.
gotcha.
Yeah. I've heard that every run that Animal Man is in, which I think he's only in two runs, which is the that one that you have the Black Label and the new 52. I heard the new 52 is fantastic.
There's actually a few runs. Because there's one that's there's the Grant Morrison one, and then there's one with Steve Dillon that's on art. The guy that did Preacher, the art for Preacher.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
There's one with him on it. I forget who writes it, but then the new 52 one is Jeff Lemire. Um, so there's at least three runs that I know of, but
Okay.
yeah, definitely a character that I've heard a lot of great things about. So yeah,
Yeah,
hoping
yeah. I
hoping
love
to
the whole Deadpool. I love the whole Deadpoolness of it, like where he's literally like pointing at the reader and being like, "Hey, you," like type shit.
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, I think that whole like I guess you could say meta ness of that book is probably ahead of its time. I don't know if Deadpool. I'm sure Deadpool was way before Animal Man, but you know,
Uh, I'm if not around the same time because
yeah.
Deadpool made his debut in the mid '90s, so or mid
Oh,
to
okay.
early '90s, something like that. So Yeah.
Yeah, so that I love that whole meta-ness. That shit is it's super cool. Like Deadpool Wolverine, like the whole jabs at the MCU and the way he tells Wolverine, he's like, "You're jumping in at a bit of a low point." Like
Yeah,
it's just so
yeah.
fucking like so funny. Love that type of shit.
They're gonna do. They're gonna. What does he say? They're gonna keep doing it until he's 90.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
till you're 90, yeah. Which I hope because I don't want to see anybody but fucking Hugh Jackman playing Wolverine.
for sure, dude. Hugh Jackman's the goat. But
Yeah, dude.
there's a
Legend.
part in Animal Man that I've seen in this run in particular where he's like traveling through the white space on the comic, like the borders and
Oh yeah.
stuff, and he's like talking to Grant Morrison, and like Grant Morrison's like, "Yeah, dude, I'm writing you," and like, dude, just shit like that. And they have like this really deep conversation that gets like pretty philosophical, and I don't know, it's just really cool shit. So I'm
Yeah,
wanting.
if your reviews are high about that, if your praise is pretty good about it, I might have to fucking pick that up because it's not expensive. I don't know what how much you got your book for.
I don't remember how
If you
much
don't
I
mind.
paid for it, but it was less than. I mean, I don't even think it is pretty small, so it retails for 100, which isn't terrible. I think I probably got it for 40 ish.
Oh yeah, see that's fucking great. If it's good, man, and you would really end up enjoying it, I might have to tap in, for sure. Because that was like I said, one of the ones that I did want to get into, before I even started like collecting pretty heavily.
For sure, man. Um, yeah, no, I'll definitely let you know. But I mean, other than that, there's a couple of trades I have that I wanted to check out. Like I've got Exquisite Corpses. I've heard this is really good. Uh, by James Tynion, who did Something Is Killing the Children. This is sort of like I, from what I've heard, it's like a battle royale between different houses of like, so like there's like these different clans and like families, and they all have like a hitman or like a serial killer like kind of person that they hire, and they choose them as like their champion for like this battle royale tournament. And I'm not a big battle royale tournament kind of guy, but I've heard that it's really sick and that there's like a bunch of crazy kills and like there yeah, I don't know, man. I've just heard really good things, and this first trade came out. One thing I like about Image is a lot of times with like ongoing series, they'll release the first trade at a really low price point. They're usually like $10 just to like allow people to check it out if it's new, and then usually like a volume 2 will be like $16, but they usually make a volume 1 like $10 just to make it really easy to get into. Um,
See, another reason why collected edition collecting is just way better than single issue.
yeah, dude, it's if you can let the FOMO go a little bit and just be patient, it's so much more cheaper, and you get to. We've talked about this before, but collected editions are pretty much unmatched. Uh,
Oh yeah.
like I can see the appeal of collecting single issues. They're cool as shit. Like you have like the original. It's almost like a piece of history that you have, like comic book history. Um, but I don't know, single issues. It's just cheaper, more like a better utilization of your space and everything, really. So,
Yeah,
but
for sure. Agreed. Agreed.
yeah, I just gotta this month. I'm gonna or the remainder of the month rather. I'm gonna dance around my collection and just try to knock off stuff here and there. Like I know I was eyeballing my Thor by Donny Cates omnibus. I might get to that too. We'll just have to see. But yeah, that's about it as far as what I'm gonna check out.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely agree with you on that. Like, try not to start something too big, because I think what I've realized personally with this whole Berserk read through is that you're a way faster reader than I am. Like, I know I finished volumes 8 through 14, or not, maybe like a little bit of the first quarter of 14 of Berserk in a day and a half, which is pretty good. But I think you read a lot faster than I do, so I could see you knocking out the Donny Cates Store Omni in the month. Um,
Do you
but
read
me, I'm
every
just
day?
like I no, I don't. I
I don't
I
either, but I've
that's the
tried to.
thing is I game every fucking day,
Mm.
and if maybe during the work week, I think during the work week I read more than I do game because I don't know, it just takes, you got to sit down, you got to load the game up, you got to get a good groove in, you know what I mean? You got to get, the momentum with the game that you're playing, whether it be Metroid or Arc Raiders or Destiny 2, anything like that. I recently bought the DLC. Or no, actually, my buddy Raf, the guy who gifted me my PC, my old Destiny buddy, that he gifted me the newest expansions for Destiny 2. So I'm like, well, now I feel kind of obligated to play a little Destiny now, and it's cool,
You've been
kind of
playing it with
get,
him?
yeah, which is dope because I don't think we've ever played Destiny 2 together, which is fucking wild. The game's been around for like 6 years and we've never played together. But
Run it back
if
just like
it's
the old days.
yeah, hell yeah, dude. We played like a little bit last night after our pod. But it's been a good time. I don't want to talk about video games the whole time, but yeah, I game a lot on the weekends, and I read a lot during the work week. I'll take a volume with me. I'll take a trade with me. I'll take my weekly pulls with me to work, and I can't obviously be on my phone or read while I'm working, obviously, but during my breaks, my lunch, I try to eat on my first break and have my entire lunch to read, and I find myself just getting sucked into either Berserk or my weekly pulls or something like that, just flying through them during my lunch. Um, but then again, if I'm really into a series, I'll read it the whole weekend. Like I remember whenever I got Preacher in the first week or the first day I got it, I read the first three trades in one sitting. Really enjoyed that, but we all know how that ended up.
How the mighty have fallen.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. But no, man, like back whenever I was really into manga, I the most volumes I've ever read in one sitting was I think 8 or 9, and that was uh oh shit, actually no, I think it was like 10 or 11 of Gantz. I think
Mm.
that was like whenever I was like I need to know how the fuck this shit ends, and I was like 10, 11 volumes off, and I was like, well, the Omnis aren't out. Might as well go ahead and read it online. So I read the last 11 volumes online, like in one fucking sitting, and absolutely enjoyed it. And Toriko the same way. I read the last. Well, no, I read probably like a good 7 to 8 volumes in one sitting. Whenever we got into the gourmet world, which is like New World basically in One Piece, that was incredible. Berserk is kind of a harder binge book for me because there's a lot of dialogue, there's just a lot of layers to Berserk. Claymore is another that I read the last 7 volumes
Is
in one
Claymore
sitting.
really good?
It's not as good as Berserk, obviously, because that's what it gets compared to all the time. Like if you like Berserk, you'll like Claymore. If you do like Berserk, you'll like Claymore. It's just a lot of people say it falls apart in the second half. I think it shines in the second half. I have a lot of unpopular opinions because people say the last arc of Gantz is fucking terrible, and I think it's the best of the entire
Hmm.
series.
Okay.
Um, I love Claymore. If you could get the box set for a decent price, I'm sure you could get it for probably like $120. That would be a fun book club read through.
For
I
sure.
think you would really enjoy it. Hyper action, almost apostle like transformations. Um, and it just stars a cast of some badass chicks, dude. Like they're the Claymores. They have a Claymore fucking sword. Um, they're all dope, man. And then the story really comes full circle. From like there's in like volume like 5, 6. There's a character that's introduced that comes full circle back on
But
the final volume, which
so
is pretty dope.
real quick, just I don't want to talk on Claymore for too long, but I just remember Claymore from when I first started getting into manga. I heard a bit about it, and I was very interested. But aren't they like lichens or like werewolves or some shit? Kinda.
The Claymores themselves?
Or either the claymores themselves or the people that they're fighting. I don't remember.
No, there's not werewolves in it.
Okay,
They're not lycans. They're basically demons. Um
gotcha.
but
Okay.
there's a major twist that happens in the middle of the book where from that point on people say the whole plot falls apart, but if you're there for just seeing hot chicks kill fucking demons, I mean, it's drawn extremely well, and the plot wasn't really what I read it for in the first place, not like Berserk. And
Right.
I think it the twist makes it almost like, oh shit, like it makes you intrigued a little bit more than I'm obviously the entire fan base of Claymore didn't enjoy it, but I did. I thought it was pretty dope.
For sure. But
But yeah, that's another series that I binged like crazy. And yeah, I'm definitely a gamer first. I always say that in the Discord. I'm a gamer first and a reader second. But whenever I'm really into a series, man, I could definitely just sit down and binge it.
well, like the way that I read, man, and the way that I've been able to get through stuff is so I go to school. I have to actually drive to my school because during the week I have a couple days where I have one online class in the morning that I do from home, which is like Mondays and Wednesdays, and then Thursdays and Fridays I have to drive to school, and then I'll be there for 5 hours. Something I have like a few classes, but I'll usually get there. And this goes for going to work too. But I always like to get places early, just so that like
Yeah, of course.
I don't have to be in a rush. But
As bro is late to class 30 minutes this morning.
okay, and I was late, and it's in my own home. Yeah, yeah, that's real bad.
Oh shit.
Yeah, that's
I thought you had to
even
go.
no. Literally, all I had to do was open my laptop, but I was tired, bro.
Nah, that's all good, brother. We've all been there.
Um, but what I'll do is I'll leave or try to at least like an hour early, and I'll get to school and sit down on a bench outside, while I'm waiting for my professor to get there and open up the doors. Uh, and dude, I'll sit there. My class doesn't start till 9, and I'll be there at like 8, and I'll just sit there and read
Mm.
all morning before class starts, and then um, I have like 15 minutes between classes, so I'll just like when I have time, I'll just crack open my book before instruction starts, and by the end of the school day on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I've been reading for like an hour and a half. You know what I mean? So it's just an easy way for me to knock out some stuff, and yeah, during the week, like whenever I'm not at school, I mean, I try to get some reading done, but it's a little bit more difficult. But I don't know. It's just I try to read most days of the week. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I need to definitely get into the habit of balancing both my hobbies, like because you have a
it's
lot more going
difficult,
on than I
man.
do. Oh yeah, for sure. Like I was just gonna say, you have a lot more going on than I do. You got a girlfriend, you got school, you got work, and me, I just got work. And that's pretty much it. And then you go to the gym as well. Like I don't. I
I try.
fucking yeah. So you juggle a lot more than I do, and I don't have an excuse of being like, man, I'm tired. I'm just like, I literally go to work, and on the weekends I game or read. So it's like I need to I need to strike a good balance between both my hobbies, which is gaming and reading. And if I had another hobby, I don't even know what I would do. I don't go out, I don't do any of that shit. So I need to, set aside a good a good whatever hours for gaming, and then set aside, just even a couple, maybe an hour, hour and a half for reading. Because you'd be surprised, man, if you could actually sit down uninterrupted in silence. I don't know if you read in silence, but I've found that I can focus a lot more without like background music and shit like that. Because I used to
Mm,
read with like rain, background music and shit like that. But I've started to learn recently that I can focus a lot more and just absolutely get sucked into a book with complete silence.
see,
And
that's hard for me. Like the complete silence is difficult for me. I mean, I can do it, but I've noticed that I prefer like what I'll do is I'll put my AirPods in and like turn on the noise canceling, but not have any music playing or anything to where everything's quiet but I can still hear the chatter and bustle around me. You know what I mean? But
mm,
it's just quiet,
yeah,
but just like there's like a quiet noise bustle around me,
yeah,
and like
yeah,
just
yeah,
that helps me more than just complete silence.
yeah. Obviously, it's gonna vary for different people, but my point of saying this is you guys would be surprised at how much you can read in an hour and a half if you're actually non-interrupted and sucked into the book. It's like how I was with Berserk. Like I said, I finished 8 through a little bit early into 14. in a couple hours just by sitting there and really just focusing on the book instead of being distracted by this and that and this and that. It feels quite good to knock out books. Obviously, we're readers here. We all know that feeling. Um, but yeah, like I said, you'd be surprised if you actually just had some uninterrupted um, time reading. It's a good time.
For the biggest thing for me, man, is my phone, dude. I gotta put my phone in my pocket or like set it in my bag or like out of sight, out of mind kind of thing. Cause like
Yeah.
I'll be reading and then there'll just be like a twitch in the back of my mind where I just like grab my phone for like no reason and then all of a sudden I'm scrolling on Instagram. I'm like, fuck, I was just in the middle of reading. What am I doing right now? So
Oh yeah. I mean, I feel like not even just me and you, everybody has that type of problem. Everyone's
right,
addicted to their phone nowadays. And it's hard not to be. That's our entire life is on our phone basically, you know what I mean? So
yeah,
it um and I don't have a lot of fucking notifications going off, but whenever I do read, I'll just put my phone on complete silence and I'll just, either put it under my leg, put it on the desk, put it on my, counter,
for
my
sure.
table, whatever, and just kind of like you're saying, out of sight, out of mind. And I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I do get into that mode where I just find myself on my phone just scrolling through Reddit for no fucking reason. Whenever I was just in the middle of reading something and I like get pissed at myself, I'm like, dude, what am I doing? Like I was just in the middle of reading and I could be on my phone at any fucking time. Like this is my time to read and get sucked into this story and escape from my fucking phone, for instance. You know what I mean? So,
For sure.
nah, dude, you're not alone there. You're definitely not alone. I probably can understand more than you think.
I have a question though.
Let me hear it.
Do you read in bed?
No, well, dude, if I'm really into the series, like you know how much I loved Walking Dead. I read Walking Dead in bed, but that was the last thing that I don't even game in bed. Like with my Switch 2, like I don't even when I'm in bed, I get tired quick, 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 quick. It doesn't matter if I'm fully awake. I can nap at any time of the day, which is fucking terrible. But I like Toriko, I was able to read in bed.
Mm,
But yeah, it just depends on if I'm really, really, really into the series. But for me, I have a reading chair. I throw a couple pillows on it because it's kind of uncomfortable. It's one of those like papasan chairs.
mm.
Um, a couple pillows on it, and I'll just start cracking open some pages. And yeah, I'm not a big bed reader because I do get tired really fast.
I don't. It's really hard for me to read in bed too. And I can see the tired thing, but I just get really uncomfortable, man. Uh,
Yeah, that's another thing with me as well. I do get extremely uncomfortable. Like I just can't find a good reading position,
well,
if
it's
that makes sense.
absolutely, and especially with if I'm reading something big like an omnibus or those Berserk deluxes, dude, it's
Oh
almost
yes. Oh yeah.
impossible. But
And especially with the book like Immortal Hulk, like I can't even sit in my papasan chair and put that on my lap. It fucking
oh, because
the
it's
Invincible.
well
Yeah, because it's so
because
big.
well, not only is it so big, but with that Hulk omnibus, yours is kind of messed up too. So you've got to like be delicate with it.
Yeah, that's right. And I'm at a point in the book where I'm like in the middle of it, so it's not I can actually like relax and put it on the table and read it like that instead of it being like fuck I need to like press it together while I'm reading it type shit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um it's kind of working itself out. But even the Invincible volumes, dude, or not the volumes, but the Invincible compendiums, like sitting there holding that shit with my left hand and flipping with my right just fucking hurt my arm reading it. Um But yeah, no, it's like you're saying, it's hard to get a good reading position in bed. If I do read in bed, which if it's not a normal volume of manga where they're pretty easily to just you can sit on the toilet and fucking read a normal volume of manga.
Right.
But with like a compendium, an omnibus, what I'll do is I'll prop up a couple pillows behind me to where I'm sitting up, and I'll just throw a pillow on my lap, and
Yep.
I'll just have the book on there, so I'm not holding it with my hand. I'm not letting it rest on my legs. Um, and it's also like propped up to where I can actually like see it close. You
I
know what
do
I
the
mean? I'm
same
sure
thing.
you're in the same thing. Okay, yeah, it's like in bed. I don't know how people do it. I could see them doing it with single volumes, um, and like laying down and I guess reading it like that. But then again, like even if I'm laying down reading it like that, it's against the light, so I
Right.
can't. see it good, and whenever I'm into a book, I want to see the art. I want to read the dialogue and shit like that. So yeah, I definitely totally agree with that.
For me, man, like if I read in bed, I sometimes I'll lay on my stomach. So I like to lay on my stomach sometimes, and I'll put like a pillow on my chest and lay on my bed, uh,
Oh,
on
I
my
see.
stomach and read it like in front of me. I do that sometimes with like my lighter books. Or if I'm gonna sit in bed, like I'll sit towards the front and like prop a pillow up between my head and the wall, and then have a pillow in my lap where I read. Um, but usually, like, I need a table or something, man. Like, I so in my room here, I have this chair. We don't have enough room for like a nice office chair or anything like that. I just have one of those folding camping chairs where I can easily fold it and move it out of the way. Because believe
Yeah.
it or not, my room is pretty cramped. I have a bunch of bookshelves and there's not a lot of room. But I bought one of those. It was really cheap at Target, but one of those TV dinner trays, like the
Yeah,
foldable
like the
wooden
yeah.
table things.
Yeah.
I have one of those, and so I'll sit in my camping chair and like place that in front of me, and that's how I'll read. I just have a table right there in front of me, so uh, I found that works really well.
Yeah, if I'm not reading on my desk, which obviously I'm at my desk right now, there's a where my thumb is. My mom bought me, I think it was like for my birthday or something like that. It's a folding dining table where it
Oh
it,
shit!
it like folds up like a big rectangle, but it ends up like propping up so there's two sides where two people can eat.
Oh
It's
cool.
pretty cool. But you could either prop up one side, both sides, or none, like how it is right now. And I'll prop up just one side, put it to the side of my desk right here. I'll have some music playing if I'm in the mood to listen to some music while reading, and I'll just have the book laid out and reading it like that if it's a Marvel omnibus, because about 95, 99% of the time I don't hold those books and read them. Um,
Yeah,
I usually just set them down and let the spine do the work.
for sure, man. Well, hey, do you want to jump ship here and talk about something else?
Yeah, we could definitely do that. How long are we into the pod? We're probably like an hour already, right? Let's see.
I'm not 100% sure.
2:48. Yeah, we're a little under an hour. Probably we're 45 minutes in, which I think that's a good time to
All
jump
right.
ship.
Well, one of the things that me and you were talking about last night off screen that I kind of wanted to touch on, because I know a lot of people, especially like these days with all of like the social media promoting like consumerism and stuff like that, and FOMO is as bad as it is, like as ever. Is kind of the mentality of collecting series, and this goes for everything, but for me, because of my hobbies, it's usually comics, right? Um, just spending too much money, man, and just buy, focusing more on the collecting aspect of it more than reading. And uh, yeah, I mean, you don't buy stuff as often anymore. And again, we touched on this last night. Um, but what's your perspective on it for the people watching with that kind of stuff? Like, how do you handle FOMO and stuff like that? How do you process it?
Do you think it's beneficial for them to hear? Because me and you are very much two sides of the coin here.
Sure.
I don't I'm don't collect nearly as much as you do. And there's no shade being thrown whatsoever. I mean, I was in your shoes 100% as well, buying box set after box set and series after series after series and series and letting the whole pile I guess pile up rather than reading it. Do you think it's beneficial for them to hear your side or mine first?
I mean, I guess I'll give my side first, just to kind of lay my thoughts out there, because I mean, evidently, I'm the one that struggles with it, right? Um,
Yeah, and I think both of us could benefit from hearing, your struggle with, you know, collecting addiction, I guess is what we'll call it. And I think we could hear, you know, the kind of what's the word I'm looking for? The chill. uniqueness of how I like to collect things. So yeah, I don't mean to like derail
No,
your
it's all
whole
good.
way of talking about it, but I think that people would benefit from hearing your side first, and then hearing my counter argument to that.
For sure, man. Um, well, starting just to give some context, right? I've basically always been a collector my whole life, whether that be trading cards when I was young with Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh, or jumping ship and collecting Funko Pops, and comics and manga. Like at different points of my life, it always changes to something. I'm almost never not collecting something, uh, and part of that is I think a learned behavior, but part of that's probably also, I don't know, genetic to some extent, because my family, not to get too deep, but my family, addiction runs in my family, I'll say, alcoholism, uh, and I guess drug use to some extent, but mostly alcoholism. A lot of my family are alcoholics, um, so it's something that I've grown up with, addiction in the household, uh, and luckily for me, it's not substance abuse, which is my addiction, but it's spending money on collectibles, and even food addiction for me too. I'm overweight and I'm working on that, so I deal with addiction is what I'm getting at. I have a very addictive personality, and I hyper focus on things, like especially if it's new and something I'm getting into. That's all I think about, and then I just kind of throw money at it. You know what I mean? I don't know how many people watching can relate to that.
I'm
Uh,
sure a lot can. I'm sure a lot. I
I'm
relate to that
I'm hoping.
especially.
I'm hoping, because that's kind of the reason why I wanted to touch on this episode, because I know that I can't be the only one. And I just wanted to
Oh yeah.
talk about it a little bit. But yeah, man. What am I trying to say here? So it's gotten really bad lately. When I started collecting manga, there came a time where I was collecting more than I was reading, and you know, because when you first start, I feel like with any hobby, at least when it comes to reading or even collecting video games, you're playing your games as you're buying them. You're reading your stuff as you're buying it. But there comes a point where you're ramping it up just a little bit over time, and then all of a sudden, you're so far gone that you have a whole shelf of shit that you haven't read, and you've only read 30% of your backlog that you have, and it's like, well, how the fuck did we get here? And all of a sudden you're 2 grand in the hole as far as like how much you've spent on comics. And I won't throw an exact number out there, but for me, I've spent a lot of money on comics, and my collection has exploded over the last year, especially. And for people that have credit cards, racking up credit card debt, which is, I mean, as long as you're able to pay it off, that's, I guess, building credit history and all, that's fine and all, but like, just like shit that you don't need and virtually can't afford. You know what I mean? So it's a slippery slope, and it's really easy to get yourself in a hole that's kind of dark and hard to get yourself out of. Um, and that's kind of where I'm at right now, where as we're approaching the new year, I'm really trying to focus on buying less. And I say that at different points throughout the year, and I always end up back in the same place. But I kind of wanted to also touch on this, just to put it out there as, I guess, as evidence for myself, to be like, almost like a declaration, for me to say I'm gonna stop. You know what I mean? And just put it out there, um, more for myself, if that makes sense. Uh, as a way to look back and hold myself accountable, is what I'm saying. So, um, yeah, I don't know. I kind of went on a tangent, as I usually do, but that's kind of where I'm at. What's your take, man?
Well, uh, I do also come from a family that it has that struggle with like addiction, whether that be drugs, mostly alcoholism. My immediate family is a lot of people that like to drink a lot.
Same.
I guess I'm not a big drinker at all. I rarely drink. I last night on the pod I had a couple beers, but that's I'll buy like a 12 pack every like once every month type shit. And even whenever I do, I'll have a couple beers here and there. I'm not a big drinker. I used to be into smoking like weed like a lot whenever I was in high school, a little bit out of high school, but recently I quit completely. Haven't smoked at all.
Congrats,
And
man.
oh, I appreciate it, brother. It's not one of those things where it was more like for my health, man. I could feel my lungs failing on me. I would have an asthma attack way up more often than I should, and I just had to come to a realization that I need to just put it down. I think the weed is telling me something. I think my body's telling me something, and I have to listen to it. And yeah, I guess I don't really have you know an addiction to collecting, which at one point I did. Um, I was really like you're saying accumulating way more than I was reading. You can only read so much. You know what I mean? As long even if you're knocking out 7, 8 volumes a day, um, you can't keep up with how much you can possibly spend. You could buy 30 volumes a day. You know what I mean? Box sets on box sets. And I think one of the major things that people do feel is the fear of missing out, FOMO. Um, but you know, coming into comics, we're basically a comic centric, manga centric podcast. But I'm more into collecting comics way more now than I am into collecting manga. And I think I haven't even bought the Kingdom volumes. I haven't bought the Baki volumes. Um, and I guess the one thing that kind of I wanted to get into with comics. I think we talked about this on our first maybe 2 issues of our podcast. I didn't want to fall into that hole of collecting more than I read. And even though I did a little bit in collecting comics, I have read a lot. I've read about 70% of the stuff I own, probably even more, probably 80. Um, and it feels good. I mean, obviously it does, but the thing about nowadays, the day and age that we live in, it's about like um it's the whole what's new? What can I get into that's new? What is like I want the new thing. I want to open up something new. I want to look at a and the one thing that I realized about collecting manga was I fell in love with the shelf. I fell in love with the way it looked on the shelf. And then also another thing on top of looking at how it looked on the shelf was owning something that was out of print was like a coveted thing that you had in your collection where you're like, dude, I have this when 90% of collectors don't.
Right.
And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. There's other ways to read it. You could read it online. You could read it through Shonen Jump. Um, and most of the time, there's series that that you haven't even read that you at one point were really interested in. Um, another thing too is it's I've spent so much on the manga, right? Like in your shoes, like you've spent a lot on your comics. I spent so much on the manga that where I get something new and something new and something new, and it's always fun to open something up, and crack a new book open, that you'll more than likely never eventually get to the money that you spent on a certain series. Like me, I've never read Dorohedoro. I never read GTO. I never read One Punch Man. Um I never finished Vinland Saga. And that's money that could have been saved or could have been spent on something more uh beneficial at that time, whether it's money just sitting on a shelf. And obviously it's like, yeah, I'll eventually get around to it, but the thing that I feel like people need to realize is that certain series like One Punch Man, Dorohedoro, Vinland Saga, they're never going to go away ever. So you're always going to be able to get them. And with collecting comics, you know, it does suck to cut the pull list. It does suck to cut down your buying. But with a popular series, man, it's always going to be there. You know what I mean? It's always going to be able to be bought and be read. Um, Especially like with a series like Walking Dead, Invincible. And even series like, the New 52 Firestorm, the Nuclear Men that I picked up recently. I haven't even touched it, which is funny that we're talking about this type of stuff. But it's always going to be there. If it's not a collected edition, you're going to be able to find it eventually. You know what I mean? You just got to be patient. And it I feel like it's one of those things where, like we're talking about the phone with reading. If it's out of sight, it's out of mind. I could easily fall back into a hole of being like, "Ooh, I want to get this, I want to get that, I want to get this, I want to get that," and spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars on comics. One thing I do stay away from is collecting old comics. Like, I know the whole Discord that we're in, your Discord. A lot of people like to collect old school comics, and those fuckers are expensive, and it adds up, and it's more expensive than current day prices on single issue comics, like $4 or $5, $6. They're like, correct me if I'm wrong, but they're like 8 to 12 to 15 bucks a volume, or not a volume, an issue.
It depends, but yeah, some.
Yeah, and most of the time we don't even know if that's something we're gonna enjoy. And I don't know. I just feel like it's easy to fall into that hole, but if you're not going even near it, you won't fall in it.
True.
So I stay off of Manga Swap. I stay off of Comic Swap. I don't look at any of the shit. I don't look at any of the back issues at my comic store. I just get my pulls. I don't even look at the new comic wall. I just get my pulls, go to the desk, pay, walk out. Out of sight, out of mind. And it sucked to say, because at a point in my manga collecting journey, I had everything that I wanted. Like, it was to the point where I'm like, well, I can't even really spend money on shit because I already have everything. I have all 4 One Piece box sets. I have Dragon Ball Z box sets. I have Claymore, some of the out of print shit like GTO Toriko. I have all of Chainsaw Man, all of Berserk in 2 different editions. Like, it was to the point where I didn't have much shit to miss out on, other than like current stuff that was coming out. Well, with comics, there's so much more history and so much more of a back catalog that comics has, that you can there's no end to that hole. You'll just fall and
Or
fall
at
and
least
fall and
that's
fall and
like
fall.
at least that's accessible to us here in the West, you know.
Yeah, because I'm sure in Japan there's, centuries of fucking comics, or,
Yeah.
manga that's out there. Um, but yeah, I think it's one of those things where, like, I'm not trying to, convince you to get out of your hobby. It's, at the end of the day, it's a healthy hobby, but the way, other people, I'm sure, are going about it is very unhealthy. um, the way you guys are just throwing money at this hobby without actually, sitting down and enjoying what you have. And I'm not trying to convince you to stop or anything like that. I totally get where you're coming from. I've been in your shoes, even whenever I first started collecting comics, but I had to chill out, cut back, and and where I am in my life now, I fully live independently. I don't depend on anyone but myself, obviously, and I don't have room for spending a shitload of money on comics. I don't have room for spending a shitload of money on anything. I mean, I could. I very much could. I do make really good money. And I just don't want to live like that, where I feel bad about spending hundreds of dollars on comics where I'm not even done with what I bought 6 months ago. You know what I mean? And yeah, it's especially with single issue collecting, like, it could go south very, very quick. And I'm not one for credit cards and shit like that. I have a secured credit card with Nusenda with the $250 limit that I only put gas on. I only put gas on it, and I pay it off every single month, $100. And most of the time, it literally is just back and forth. Like, I'll spend $100 on gas a month, and then I'll pay it off. And it builds my credit really well. And I don't want to be in a position where you see Dave Ramsey and shit like that, where people call them, they have $200,000 worth of debt and shit like that. And I know it's because of school and shit like that. It's not over just gas and all that whatever. But that specifically, I would rather be spending money that I earn on a 2 weekly basis, on a monthly basis, on comics, than spending money that is not mine on it.
For sure.
and it's a hole that is always going to be there, but it's a hole that you can avoid falling into. And I feel like a lot of people they could stop now. You know what I mean? They could always. I guess the point I'm trying to say, guys, is the comics will always be there. There's gonna be a if you got to cut your pull, your monthly pull list, your weekly pull list. There's gonna be a collected edition for cheaper. If there's a series that you want to get into, it's always gonna be there. It's not gonna go out of print. Yeah, it will go out of print, but it's gonna come back. It's not one of those things, and it's one of those things you could find in the secondhand market. And the FOMO is real, man. The FOMO is real. Like literally today, I almost called up my LCS and said, "Hey, could you pull aside all of the KO battles for me, like the Wonder Woman versus Lobo?" I almost called them and was like, "Hey, can you just pull them aside?" Yeah, in hindsight, you're looking at it, it's like, yeah, it's an extra $4. What is $4? But whenever you're buying 8 issues a time, it's like, it's not just $4. It's 40, 50, it's 35, and every week, it's a bill.
Yeah.
Basically, it's a bill, and are you really retaining that information? Are you really remembering what you're reading? Are you really even enjoying it? Or are you just collecting for the thrill of the hunt, for the thrill of a ma- creating this massive collection? And that was one thing that I realized whenever I was a manga, really into manga, is I wasn't in love with reading. I was in love with collecting. And I think that's what you got to realize with yourself. If Are you in love with the thrill of opening something new or finding something out in the wild, or are you enjoying what you're reading? So I
For
guess that's
sure.
kind of my message. I feel like people need to take a step back and realize what um kind of finan like where you could be if you weren't spending so much money. You know what I mean? Like how much money you would have. And I know unspent money is like, you know, like I understand, like you get paid, you're like, man, I want to treat myself. I want to get a book. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it's just adding to this fucking pile of shit that you're probably not even gonna get around to. Um, so yeah, I think we all just need to take a step back. Even me, like I had to take a step back from my weekly pulls or my monthly pulls and cut a bunch of shit that I wasn't really remembering. I didn't even really like. Um, but I was like, man, I gotta collect the whole series, the whole 5 mini series, the whole 5 issue mini series. Um, I think we just need to take a step back and realize: are we readers or are we collectors? And if you have the disposable money to do it, man, then fuck it. Why not? It's your hobby. It's not like you're fucking shooting up fucking heroin every that's not your hobby. It's a healthy hobby, but an unhealthy way of going about it. I think there's um a clear, divide in the whole collecting world, whether it be games, cards, books, because I don't know if you've seen like some shit that Magic the Gathering collectors, bro, those motherfuckers will spend $900 on a booster pack of Final Fantasy. Like that to me is like fucking insane because I'm not a card collector, but see, I've spent thousands on paper. So
Right.
I've been there, man. I've been there, and I think you know, I, I know there's people out there that struggle with what you're going through, Luke. I feel like you got it, man. It's hard to let go, but you'll thank yourself later because you're going to be able to sit down and enjoy all that you have and pick up what you want at that moment and be able to read it instead of being like, well, let me finish this what I got first and then eventually I'll get around to reading it, and then you lose interest because you're taking time to get around to it.
Right.
um but yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say. I know I talked in circles a little bit, but I think it's a great talking point for a great duo like me and you. Like I said, we're two sides of the same coin. Um, we're both into collecting, but just to different extents. Um, yeah, and I think people definitely benefit from this little conversation. And like I said, man, I'm not throwing no shade whatsoever. I'm not trying to get you out of your hobby. Um, but I think not just you. I think all of us can benefit from taking a step back and realizing: are we readers or are we collectors? And we could be both, but there needs to be a healthy balance between both of them.
For sure, man. And I just listening to you talk, man. That was really engaging, and I think you did a really good job of putting it into perspective. And it's something, you just listening to you now, right? You've helped me out a ton, and it's something that I'm gonna take to heart. And especially, everybody makes New Year's resolutions and stuff, but you don't have to wait to make a change in your life,
Yeah,
and it's
of course.
something that I mean, but that being said, with the new year, it's something that I do want to focus on, is
Hmm.
helping. And I am in a little bit of a hole, uh, financially and just like mentally, when it comes to collecting. But like you were saying, with these people calling Dave Ramsey, right? I don't want to get to that point, and
Yeah, see that.
especially on some stupid shit like comics, right?
Yeah,
um,
exactly,
it's
exactly.
it's not too late from where I'm at to dig myself out. It just takes diligence and patience, and you know,
And you
just
have to want to do it.
for sure. And
And it's not one of those things where you're just like, well, I'll half-ass it and I'll cut my, you know, like I understand like if you got a certain series like Absolute Batman, of course you're gonna pick that up. Ultimate Wolverine. I don't know if you cut that out of your list, but I
I
know that
did
was
actually.
one of your month. You did. Well, it's there's gonna be certain series like Venom, Black, White, and Blood. That was one of those series where I cut it from my pull, but there was only one issue left in the run. So I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'll just end up finishing the series. That's not. I don't think that's wrong. I don't think that's bad. I think if there's just certain things where it's like Fantastic Four, that's going to obviously go on for 20, 30, 40 issues. And if you're not really fucking with it like me, I'm liking it a lot more than I was a couple issues ago, but I think you just got to be true and be real with yourself that if you're not really liking it, it's it's asking both parts of your brain, the collector or the reader. Like, are you enjoying reading it, or are you just enjoying seeing the fucking collection just stack up and enjoying the visual of your collection?
right,
Um,
and a
there's
lot of
definitely
it
a question.
too, man. At least for me, and I guess just in general, is being content like with what you have, and it is really difficult, because especially with companies and the way that they're doing a hell of a job marketing, especially in the comic industry, is sort of the comics, in my opinion. A lot of people who are into comics will tell you, "Oh, comics are booming," but like if you take a look at it from an outside perspective, it really isn't. You know what I mean? People who are, you know, in this niche say that it's not, because it's like an echo chamber. Like, we're surrounded by like-minded people all the time on different corners of the internet, to where it seems like everybody in the world is into it, but it's still, at least comic book collecting and reading, is still very niche, right? And that being said, these comic companies, whether that be DC or DC and Marvel, especially because they're the big two, right? They're always putting out new shit and events and different stuff to just get us to spend that money and keep picking it up, right? And
KO.
yeah,
Look at KO, the way they're splitting all those tie-ins up. Like I was telling you last night, it's just all a marketing ploy. That's it.
right. And yeah, that's the thing. The FOMO, man. It's a really slippery slope, and that's why I really appreciate your insight, man. As somebody who struggles with that, and a lot of the people probably watching who are in our circles and on our corners of the internet, right? Collecting spheres, as they say. Uh, yeah, I just really appreciate your insight. Um, and where this pod is called "We Got Issues" for more than one reason, right? It
Yeah.
being a comic and manga centric podcast, but if I remember correctly, going back to the origins of this podcast, when me and you reconnected, one of the things that we were talking about is our mental health, and shit that had gone on, in our lives, during that time when we weren't talking as much, if at all. There was a lot that has happened in both of our lives, um, and if I remember correctly, that's where we got the idea for the podcast name, is because we kind of opened up to each other talking about our mental health and some of that stuff. and then also us talking about comics. It's two sides of the same coin. So we don't have to do it all the time, but I think it is um, necessary and healthy to talk about mental health and addiction and some of the psychological stuff sometimes here on the pod because inherently it's part of our origin story. You know what I mean? So, um,
Represent.
and I think it is healthy for a lot of people to hear as well and know that they're not alone in that in those kind of struggles. Especially I don't know. I wouldn't say especially, but people who are nerdier and into kind of geek fandoms and stuff. I feel like, and maybe this is just a stereotype, but could could possibly be more closed off, and to people around them, and are more online. People are more online and on Discord talking to people more than ever, rather than people around them, whether that they're talking on Reddit or Discord or whatever it might be, right? Um, and I don't want to generalize, but I mean, we're all nerds. We're all on our computers all day, so it is kind of nice to have some people to talk about that kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, all it takes is one push for that snowball to get going, brother.
For sure.
And it might stop, but you got to get it going again. And I feel like, dude, there's so many people that I see online where I like look up New Comic Book Day, and every fucking week they have stacks of books, dude, like stacks. And I'm like, there was one dude that I'm sure you watch. I'm sure you've seen him on YouTube, but he's like kind of like a little darker, like Mexican looking guy, and he wears glasses and shit like that. And I don't know if he's on the Hall
Hall of
of
Nerds?
Geeks or whatever it's. Yeah, Hall of Nerds. Yeah.
Uh,
Um,
I don't think so.
but I like commented on one of his videos. I was like, dude, I know this guy's wallet is hurting right now. And he ended up liking it, and he commented. He's like, well, luckily my YouTube channel covers my weekly pulls, man. And I'm like, see, dude, that is like cool. That's
That's the
fucking dope.
dream
See,
right there, man.
that's the fucking dream because the only problem you got to worry about is your space.
Right.
So, if see that's where it's like, oh, it makes sense. But there's other people I'm like, God, dude, this guy is fucking reading or pulling so much. Like, how does he even have time to read other shit?
Well, that's what's really neat about YouTube and stuff like that is if you're able to, let your hobby fund itself, and content creation and just takes care of it for you. By all means, do what you got to do. Make that bag and do what you want. But if you're in a situation like me, which I'm sure is most people aren't content creators, that are successful in what they do. Um, it's a whole nother ball game. Uh, yeah, that's
Yeah,
it's difficult, man.
yeah, for sure, brother. Uh, and like I said, it's just a journey, bro. It's all taking those first couple steps and really letting go. That's basically it. Just letting go and knowing that it's not gonna go away. Yeah, some of the omnibus might go away, but most of the time they come back.
For sure, man. Well, that was that was a deep talk. If you wanted to change the subject, we were on that for a minute. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about today, man? Oh yeah, shit, we got the new Fallout trailer. We can talk about
Oh,
that.
that's right.
Hey, man.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, the new Fallout series, man. What's your history with Fallout? What games have you played? What games haven't you played? What's your favorite game of the whole series?
So, all right, I have a very limited history with Fallout. Okay, I'll go to the beginning for you, and that is back in the day, playing Minecraft Xbox 360 edition. They have the Fallout texture pack tutorial maps. You remember like the texture
Yeah,
pack tutorial maps? I
yeah.
would play the Fallout one, and they have all the pre-built structures and shit. And I always
Hmm.
thought it was super sick. And exploring like the capital area and like all that. Again, didn't know anything about Fallout at the time, but it's one of those things where I always heard about Fallout, not growing up, but like I guess yeah, growing up. It wasn't until literally last year, and the latter half of 2024. I guess almost going on 2 years ago. I guess I don't know, but um, I played Fallout 4 for the first time, and I'm a big fan of Skyrim. Um, and I like Bethesda to some extent, but Skyrim is one of my favorite video games of all time. And the issue that I had with Fallout 4 was I thought that it was gonna be a lot like Skyrim in the way that it's played, which it is to some extent. But I wasn't expecting Fallout to be as difficult as it was. And this is my first time playing. Um, but that game is really fucking hard. At least it was for me. And I never finished Fallout 4. I need to go back to it sometime or just play New Vegas because everybody says to play New Vegas. Um, but I liked the vibe of Fallout and like the aesthetic, like that retro futurism kind of atom punk vibe that's going on. I know we talked about different subgenres. I think we talked about it on the pod at some point. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think I played the first. I mean, there's so much to that game. I don't remember. Like I played where you get the power armor and you fight the monster in like the town square, and
Yeah,
you're
the Death Claw.
yeah, and you're trying to get to like the first, what is it, like Diamond City or some shit.
Yeah,
Yeah, I that that's
that's
it.
Diamond City. Yeah.
That's as far as I got. So it was pretty early on. Um, and I was moving at the time too, which didn't help. So I had to put my Xbox away in storage or whatever. But I never went back to it. Um, but then the Fallout TV show came out, and I wasn't watching it right when it came out. But over the summer, I finally watched it, and me and my dad watched it together, sitting on the couch and watching it in the living room, and I fucking loved it, bro. It was so weird at parts. Um, like the humor was, it was pretty funny, but just like I don't know, just the balance of like the humor and it also being super brutal and gory at points. Like, it was a really neat show. And the mystery aspect too. I just fucking love that first season. But yeah, man, that's literally all my experience with Fallout. I know close to nothing about what happens in New Vegas, and I know some of the stuff that happens in Fallout 4, but it's very limited.
Yeah, so I Fallout is I love Skyrim. I love Oblivion, but I don't think they're it's like ask me a different day of the week, I'd probably tell you I like Fallout more. I like Elder Scrolls more. It's just kind of like a vibe thing for me. Like
Mm.
it's um Elder Scrolls is fucking incredible. It has that whole high fantasy vibe to it. But Fallout, like you're saying, has that retro future kind of wasteland Ark Raiders type of vibe to it. Which is definitely like a daily basis vibe that I'm going for, man. Like I don't know, like it just depends. They're both fucking fantastic. I've played um I've played Fallout 2.
Is
Didn't
that
beat
the
it, but
is that a
Fallout,
top down one?
yes, that's like the old school, like fucking old school PC game. I've played that one, haven't beaten it, but I played like a good 10, 15 hours of it. Enjoyed it, which going back to our old conversation in the pod where I'm a gamer, I'll play games that look like shit, but I find the good in them. Um,
Is
Loved Fallout
is
2.
Pong in your top 10 all time?
No. No, it is not. Um, but I can it definitely goes back to that era of classic games where of course if you're like into that type of shit, I'm sure people fucking loved it.
Right.
Um, I don't really think gaming starts getting good or mainstream until
The
the
80s.
NES. Yeah, the NES, the
Well,
Super
even
Nintendo.
early 90s probably.
Yeah, like gaming wasn't really what we know it as today until like the Super Nintendo. Like gaming wasn't taken seriously until, the 360 era and shit like
Well,
that. If you're a gamer in school, you're a fucking nerd. But nowadays it's socially accepted.
I think the biggest turning point for gaming really, I mean, I think there's two things that mark gaming history. Not trying to get too off track cuz I know you're trying to talk about Fallout and Bethesda or whatever. But the N64 introducing like the 64-bit games, which is just like a
Hmm.
huge upgrade from everything before, was monumental, and that's where you get stuff like Super Mario 64 or whatever, or Mario
Ocarina of
64,
Time.
where you have like that fully 3D,
Hmm.
kind of shit. And same with like I think the Sega Genesis around that time as well, maybe. Where you
The
have
Sega Genesis was the Super Nintendo era.
okay,
I'm
so
pretty
maybe
sure.
not. I don't know, but what I do know is the super not the Super Nintendo, but the N64, right? Um, and then I think the next big step was like Xbox 360, Xbox or a PS2, Xbox 360, or even into PS3, right? Where a lot of gaming became more about online and connectivity, and that's where you get a
Hmm.
lot of like you have kind of a golden age, no pun intended, relating back to Berserk, but of multiplayer gaming with the old school Halo games and old school COD like Black Ops, Modern Warfare era, even those early Battlefield
Gears of
games,
War.
yeah, like Battlefield Bad Company and shit like that.
Yes. Yes.
But anyway, not to get too off
I,
track, but
no, it's funny that you say that because me and my dad have this conversation at least once a month of the golden age or the golden era rather of gaming. And me and him always agree that it's the 360 PlayStation 3 where Halo was popping, Gears of War was popping, Battlefield, Call of Duty, and then in the background you had games like Fallout.
for
And
sure.
going back into Fallout, it's like I said, I've played Fallout 2, which is a classic Fallout game. Um, then I've played through Fallout 3. I beat Fallout 3 a long, long, long time ago. I don't remember much of it. It's been so long. I beat it whenever I was like 13 or 12 or some shit like that. A couple of years ago in like 2020, I played and beat through Fallout New Vegas. I played and beat Fallout 4 when it came out. Um, and I'm very excited for Fallout 5 if they ever get around to it in the next 10 years.
Right.
But the Fallout show was kind of like that whole um like substitute for a Fallout 5. Uh
So tell
it
real quick, tell me what you thought about the first season.
I really enjoyed it. I know people didn't like it, like the Fallout enthusiasts. Like I don't consider myself a Fallout enthusiast all whatsoever. I'm very much an enjoyer of the games. I think they have some fantastic. My favorite one being Fallout New Vegas, obviously. The whole vibe of that game is on another level. Like it totally blows Fallout 4 and Fallout 3 out of the water. In my personal opinion, I think Fallout 4 and 3 are still fantastic games in their own right. Where Fallout 4 definitely took its Fallout 4 is definitely more of an action game than it is an RPG, which it's still
Mm,
very much an RPG where you're leveling up your skill points and all that bullshit, and you're leveling up your speech. But Fallout New Vegas and Fallout 3 are very much RPG centric, like where you need certain points to wield certain weapons and shit like that. And I think the dialogue in New Vegas and 3 is extremely better than Fallout 4. Fallout 4 has four options. You got your happy, mad, sad, and indifferent options on all the different, A, B, X, Y buttons. And I'm sure people that have played Fallout 4 can agree. Still a fantastic game. I love the main storyline of it of trying to find your son that was kidnapped from your wife or your husband, depending on what sex you chose. Um, intriguing story. But Fallout New Vegas has always been my favorite. Like without a doubt, the DLCs were fucking incredible. The main story quest was incredible. Fighting Ringo, the guy who, or not Ringo. Ringo is one of your. I don't know if you can recruit him as a companion, but you're basically it's like a Kill Bill story where this guy
this isn't
shoots.
New Vegas or four.
Yeah, this is in New Vegas.
Okay.
What I'm talking about right now is in New Vegas. So there's a guy that sends you on a mission when you come back with the chip like a gambling chip for him, he ends up you give it to him and he shoots you in the head and they bury you alive. Well, you're not dead. You come back and you're like your whole quest is to go after that guy. And kind of a spoiler, but that gets resolved about about a quarter, about 2/4 of the way through the game, about halfway through the game, that gets resolved, and then something bigger and bigger and bigger, which involves that character that I was talking about with the mustache and the suit and the big
Yeah,
old green screen behind him. That's like the main, uh, like I guess antagonist of the game. Uh, but with that being said, I love New Vegas. It's my favorite, and I loved season one. I loved it a lot. I thought it was awesome. It was kind of Fallout greatest hits in a way. It had all the elements from Fallout 3, 4, New Vegas, like with Dogmeat in there as well.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
the Ghoul was my favorite character, obviously,
Dude, Walton
and
Goggins as the Ghoul. I've heard. I
kills
haven't
it.
watched a lot of stuff with him in it, but dude, such fantastic acting from him.
Oh, sure,
That was
yeah,
fucking awesome. Uh,
yeah. He's a fucking great actor. I don't think I've seen him in anything but the Walmart commercials.
who knew?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well,
The ones that I'm seeing now are him as the Grinch,
oh
which
yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah, I don't think I've seen him in anything but Fallout and the Walmart ads, but fucking great actor, man.
yeah.
Fantastic.
But even like with his character, one thing I liked about the first season is like as you go, you start to make those connections between the flashbacks and what's happening now,
Mm.
and by the end of the season, it all comes full circle, and you're like,
Yep,
holy shit!
yep.
Like,
You're like, yo, there's a reason why he is the way he is,
yeah, dude,
and
and
yeah,
how it connects like to like the greater politics of the Fallout world, but it also collects to or collects connects to Ella Purnell's character. I forget her name, the main chick,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
like
yeah.
her family and all of that. It's all interconnected, man. It's so fucking cool.
Yeah. So with that being said, I loved season one. I thought it was awesome. Not perfect, but I think they have an incredible opportunity to make season two perfect. I think they have a great opportunity because the way the season ended with them going over that hill and they saw the New Vegas. They saw New Vegas itself. They have a great opportunity here, man. They could definitely. I don't know if it's going to be a prequel to the original New Vegas game. I don't know if it's going to be a sequel or if it's
So
going to be like an Elseworlds type of story where it's totally different.
do we know if the show is canon to the Fallout universe?
I don't know. Let me actually, because I want to say it is. Is canon. Yes, the Fallout TV show is canon of the games. It is set in the year 2296 and making it the latest chronological entry in the entire franchise. Todd Howard has
Hmm.
confirmed that the show is designed to fit with the existing lore without contradicting the events of the games.
Hmm.
Which I don't know if that really makes sense because that guy with the mustache, I'm forgetting it, I'm blanking on his name, but he's like I don't know. I'm not gonna spoil it, but yeah, it does definitely seem like this is a prequel to the original New Vegas game, which
Interesting.
is intriguing. Either if it's a sequel or prequel, I think it's gonna be fucking awesome. I think they have a great opportunity here to tell a great story within the wasteland, the whole desertness of New Vegas. Um, they could really knock it out of the park, man. Especially in the trailer, they're finally giving us our first glimpse of the Death Claw in Fallout. Like finally, we get to see the fucking infamous it's basically like the dragons of Skyrim. Like they're fucking always around, they're always there, they're the biggest threats, and the Death Claws are obviously that of Fallout. Um, can't wait to see that. Another thing that I love to see is the Easter eggs. I guess Easter eggs in the trailer where they show like the motel with the big old fucking dinosaur, and like you could in the dinosaur in actual New Vegas there's two um to say NCAA, there's two like NCR or whatever they're the soldier, like the faction is in New Vegas, where they're sitting up on the top sniping through the dinosaur's mouth, and you could
Hmm.
actually go up there. And in the trailer, the main girl character and Dogmeat are in the mouth of the dinosaur, which is extremely cool callback. I don't think there's any like story significance to it, but there's gonna be a lot of shit that is gonna be like a little nod, a little wink to the fans of New Vegas. And I think the one thing about Fallout is my final thoughts here about it. Um, it does an extremely well job, and obviously we're talking to only the perspective of season one. It does an extremely good job of getting people that aren't into the games into the show or into the world of Fallout. Because
Absolutely.
my mom, my mom, not a gamer. She loves Tetris. She loves Tetris. You know what I mean? She's just, or she loves Stardew Valley as well. Me and her have like a 120-hour save on Stardew Valley together. Um, not a gamer whatsoever, and especially wouldn't be into Fallout, but she loved the show. And I think that's one thing. I think that's the only thing you can ask for a show is to get people that aren't even into the medium into your world, into your and be sucked into your storytelling. I think whoever does the show, I think it's what HBO
It's
that
Amazon.
does it. Amazon.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Great way of getting new people in, and that's like I said, that's all you can pretty much ask for a new series of an existing franchise.
Yeah, dude. And I mean, similarly, right? I watched it with my dad, and I mean, my dad's a pretty big nerd, but like he's not a gamer and not a nerd like I don't know how to explain my dad. He's kind of a macho kind of guy, but underneath it all, like he likes sports and shit, and like, but like underneath it all, he he grew up watching Star Wars. He grew up watching He Man. He read all the Game of Thrones books. Like at the end of
Oh
the
shit.
day, this dude is kind of nerdy. Him and growing up, we would do like Indiana Jones, Star Wars marathons. We would do fucking Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. We'd watch those like once a year. Uh,
Yeah, hell yeah, dude. Hell
so
yeah. So he's definitely got that that nerdy undertone.
yeah, yeah, but
Yeah.
never a gamer though. Like he played some shit. He'd play some old PC games like in college. I think he told me he played the original Doom on his friend's
Mm.
PC like back in college. Like but just never really a big gamer. Like I tried to get him to play some stuff here and there, like play Call of Duty with me, and he still can't get around like it being 3D and like having the
The
joysticks and like
sticks.
while
Yeah.
moving and looking around at the same time. He's like, dude, I can't, I don't understand, and I'm like, okay, but him and I, we watched Fallout together, and yeah, knowing nothing. I mean, know little to nothing about Fallout either, um, but yeah, just a great way to get people who aren't in the know into it. And even if like you take out the falloutness away from it, and let's just say it's just a post-apocalyptic show, right? It's still really well done, and does a great job of just being a good show in general, even
Yep.
without the fallout like skin over it, so to speak.
Yeah. 100%, brother. 100%. It's like you're saying, once you take away that whole franchise-ness of it, it's still a good show to its core. And if it wasn't, it would be apparent. You know what I
Right.
mean? It would definitely be like, we would know. We would definitely know. But yeah, I don't really have much else to say. I'm a big Fallout guy, and I can't wait to see what this season's got to offer. Love the trailer, and I'll definitely be there. What did you say on the 15th?
I think the 17th, I think it said.
Yeah, the 17th. Definitely gonna be there, man. I can't wait to see what they got in store.
Hell
Are
yeah,
they
bro.
releasing the entire season, or are they releasing it episode by episode?
What did they? I think they did it weekly for the first season, right?
They did. They did.
Yeah, it's probably gonna. I don't know if they're gonna do like the first two episodes as like a season premiere,
Mhm.
or I have no clue honestly. But regardless, I guess, dude, if we're both watching it weekly, that's something we can talk about on the pod every week too.
Yeah,
So
dude, we could definitely do that for sure. And hopefully it'll get you to fucking play Fallout New Vegas, bro. They have
I
sales
have it.
on New Vegas.
I have it.
Oh,
It's on
you have it.
myself. I have a Xbox 360 copy of it.
Sweet, yeah. They also do sales on it where it's like the Fallout New Vegas Ultimate Edition that has all the DLCs, which are must plays if you do play New Vegas. It's like
Okay.
$4.50 for the entire uh, bundle, which
Type
is like
shit.
an absolute fucking steal. The game runs fantastic on PC as well, and it's just fun swinging that mouse around.
Yeah, man.
Great game, man. Great game. I hope you can definitely get around to it.
For sure. No, us talking about it now, I kind of have an itch to play it. Like I'm already in the middle of playing Far Cry New Dawn. I haven't touched it in about a week. just because I've been busy. But dude, I kind of want to tap into New Vegas, give Fallout another try. Uh, but before,
Dude, I would be glad. I would be hyped to play through that game again. That'd be fucking awesome. It's been a while since I played it. It's been about 5 years.
oh wow, yeah, yeah, yeah. Like well, before we jump ship from Fallout, one of the things I wanted to talk about that first season going into the second season that I'm excited for, and I know you said yesterday when we were talking about Berserk that you hate this term, but ragtag group, man.
Yeah,
I
I
I I
hate that fucking term. I hate
I
it.
love, well, the term is whatever, but just this, what I the term I prefer is a motley crew. Uh
Yeah,
I
yeah.
dude, I love that trope, man. That sort of found family motley crew of characters from different backgrounds that are kind of like bantering and fighting with each other, but they come together to do some cool shit. Like that's why I love space westerns with like Guardians of the Galaxy, but also Cowboy Bebop is that same kind of shit. Um, and Berserk to some extent, right? Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, I can see it coming together, man, for Fallout because at least in that trailer, you've got the main girl and Walton Goggins together traveling the wastelands, and that sort of was hinted to at the end of the first season. Um, but it's like this team, this family that's growing, and I'm excited to see where that goes. That's
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
one of my favorite tropes.
Yeah, I did you ever watch Thunderbolts?
I
Marvel?
did, I did. It
Did
was
you you
actually
you
pretty
had to have
good.
been yeah, I'm sure you enjoyed it. I didn't watch it because I knew I wouldn't enjoy it, but
You didn't like it,
it's like
or oh, you said you
no,
didn't
I
watch it.
I I didn't watch it because I knew I wouldn't enjoy it because it's like what am I watching a Marvel movie for without any of the fucking like US agent? Come on now. I don't know. I hate to be a
I
hater,
don't,
but
I didn't care about any of those characters really, but I think that's one of the cool things about it is by the end, you care
mm,
because of like the relationships that they build as a team because they start out as like nobodies that don't know each other at the beginning of the movie, and then by the end, and they're like fighting each other the whole movie, and then by the end they like they're willing to take a bullet for each other, and you
mm.
could see that relationship build over like the course of the movie. I don't know, for the recent Marvel movies being kind of dookie buns. Thunderbolts was pretty solid. Like I think I
Yeah,
gave
a
it like
lot.
a
Everybody says it.
it's like a
Everybody
seven
says that
point
movie's
five
great.
out of 10 for me probably.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. That is a good rating for that movie. Maybe I'll give it a try. I just when I watch Marvel, I want to watch. It was even hard for me to give Bucky a chance, and I fucking ended up
Mm.
loving Bucky. But yeah, maybe I'll get around to it eventually.
Did
But
you
is there a
ever? I
no?
was
Good.
just gonna
Sorry.
ask. Did you ever watch Predator Badlands?
No, dude, I didn't. Me and my mom were gonna go watch it in the theaters. Um, and we totally fucking spaced it. She ended up going home before we went.
Yeah, you went to
But
go see K-pop Demon Hunters instead.
yeah, well, that's my favorite movie. That's movie of the decade for me
Facts.
personally. Nah, I never watched that. I never watched that trash. Nah, it's not trash. It's definitely like a whole be ready for your gift, bro. Some K-pop demon hunters coming in. Nah.
Peak.
Yeah. No, people fucking love K-pop demon hunters, and I think I'm the minority on that. I don't want to watch little anime girls fucking singing dog shit.
Dude, I know I told you I work at a Starbucks, right? And I'm like
Hmm.
I'm like the only straight dude that works there. And I mean, I work basically in the back, like I do all the cleaning tasks and the dishes and shit like that. I'm hardly ever like out front. Um but us being in Hawaii, I work with basically a whole crew of like Asian girls. And so believe me, I hear about K-pop demon hunters all the time, and they'll be like when we're closing and like people are cleaning up and stuff, they'll be blasting the soundtrack and stuff like that. So yeah.
Yeah, fuck, I'd probably rip my head off, rip my fucking ears out if I did. Nah, I'm just joking. If they were hot enough, I'd be like, ooh. No, I'm just kidding.
uh,
No, but yeah, that's pretty cool though. Working with a bunch of Asian chicks, I wish. I wish.
that's crazy, bro. That's crazy. Hey, I
But
think I said this in the first episode, but ladies, Cam's DMs are open, bruh.
Yeah, if you
Hit
can
him up.
find me. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, if you can find him. But anyway,
Is there anything else you wanted to talk about this episode, brother?
I don't know, man. That was we basically covered everything that we set out to cover, man. There was a good talk.
Yeah, for sure. We definitely touched on some good stuff, man. We talked about what we want to read, the whole addiction part, Fallout, and just be ready for that Christmas special, man. We're gonna be coming with
What the?
some banger content.
So let me take a look at the schedule here. Um, so we've got episode 7, and then episode 8 is So yeah, not next week, but the week after, man. I'm excited. I can't believe it's Christmas is like, and then a few days after that, it's fucking Christmas, dude. That's wild.
I know, bro. Time fucking flies when you're older.
But
It's wild.
one thing I do want to say here on the pod, I'm not gonna say who just in case it doesn't work out, but we are trying to have a guest here. We were supposed to do it this past weekend, which I'm kind of glad that it didn't work out, just because I've been busy with work and school and stuff. But hopefully here on Saturday, I'm in the talks with him. Uh, hopefully we can try to make that work. That'll be a neat episode, and I finally have a guest. I do want with the new year, man. We're gonna have to have some guests on finally. Who the fuck
Yeah,
is
for sure.
calling me? All right, sorry about that, bro. My mom was calling me, and then she was yelling at me from down the stairs, so I
Nah, it's
had
all
to
good.
take care of that real quick. Um,
All good, brother.
but yeah, Raph, you said he read all of Invincible and he started Preacher, or
Yeah, because he bought the Absolute Preacher. He's buying Absolute Preacher, and I mean, hopefully he's got something different to say than I do. Hopefully he's got a positive outlook on it.
he's actually been reading it though.
I'm pretty sure that's what he told me. So I don't know if he has all of them, but I know for sure he bought the first one. I know there's
Mm,
only like 3 in the set. But yeah, I mean, there's a whole wide range. I mean, we could have like Zag on here, which he could you know, he's a gamer, he's a reader. He could I don't think he's been reading recently, but it'd be cool to maybe spark that interest in him again.
I haven't talked to Zag in a grip, man. I talked to him on occasion on my server a long time ago, but I know he's more your friend, and you talk to him a lot more than I have. But I'd be interested to chop it up with him as well. But yeah, that'd be sick,
Yeah,
bro.
but what do you think? What do you say we wrap this up, brother? Do you think that's it?
Yeah, man, that's about it. I think this was a solid episode. We accomplished just about everything.
Yeah, hell yeah, brother, hell yeah. And be ready for that Berserk episode, or obviously you guys have already watched it. Be ready
Yeah,
for our hopefully our guest episode. That's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be insightful. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be cool, man. It's gonna be cool getting another head up in here and talking about what we love, which is comics.
for sure, man. Well, with that being said, y'all, thank you all for watching. And like I said before, please be sure to leave a like, subscribe. Even if you just comment, talk to us, man. Anything to get that engagement up. And I would love to respond to you guys in the comments. Join the Discord. I'll leave a link to that in the description if you want to talk to either of us further. That would be sick. Um, yeah, man, just reach out, share, all that shit. So thank you all for watching, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.
Later, guys.